You're listening to the Manifesting Miracles podcast. By tuning in today, you're dialing into your frequency of abundance. I'm Michelle J. Lamont, your manifestation master and guide. Ever since 2016, I've been obsessively dedicating my life to uncovering, dissecting, and analyzing every aspect of the practices and modalities in which we call manifestation. You see, you are truly more powerful than you can even imagine and fully capable of manifesting miracles on the daily. I'm going to teach you how to attract a life beyond your wildest dreams using your own divine power. So let's get started manifesting your miracles right now. How to manifest anything from the universe. Pretty bold claim, right? Nah. You see, the biggest version of you is in the room right now, and they're immediately known in every field, in every room, and in every situation that you create. That's why you desire more. That's why you're like, nope, I got to keep going. We're all here in a state of consciousness. And right now, you're mad at what you created. Why? You know, that's a good question. And the reason is because you don't yet believe that you created it. Oof. You're like, I wouldn't have done this to myself, but you would have, because wait till you see what you create next. And I want to say to you, yes, you did. I want to say to you that the biggest and the most interesting version of you haven't even created yet. You haven't even dipped your toe in the water yet, because you're not fully prepared to manifest anything from the universe. Even just saying that out loud makes you feel not worthy of it. And, you know, so many of us just saw people surviving in their energy, just barely making it, everybody pulling together, you know. And so you feel like, why would it be enough that you would have everything? Why do you get the relationship and the family and the opportunities and all of these things? Because you are not fully ready to manifest anything from the universe. You're in the survival. You're in the survival energy and frequency, and therefore abundance is not known to your knowledge and your field. But you're not here to survive this. You're here to override it. Because when, you see, it's like we're vibrating energy fields. Everything is energy. Everything has a frequency. We can break everything down to a mathematical equation if we need to. And so what I want you to do is experience the energy around you right now. Imagine that the highest version of you is looking at the thing that you say you can't accomplish and is saying, but maybe if you would just open the right door this time, the path would change. And so the version of you brought you to the podcast. The version of you brought you to my community, SSOM. The version of you that's exceeding and excelling is always challenging things. The version of you is not done fighting. The version of you is still here. And the version of you that's in the room isn't focused on lack. Because when you're vibrating in lack, it's not your fault. Until you understand how it was created and that you created it, that there's an ancestral energy to you. And I've spoken about it over and over and over again. Epigenetics, your culture. Did you see your mom taking vacations and getting spa treatments? And then loving you fiercely and telling you could be anything you wanted? And telling you how amazing you are? Were you surrounded by love and energy and just this unwitting desire to just create and create and create. And what do I want to do next? And what do I want to do next? Okay, I got it. You didn't. And your nervous system isn't in safety, it's in survival. But that is not where you are now. So right now, when those opportunities come into your reality, you're just repelling them and repelling them. You're not attracting them. What part of your energy right now do you think makes you magnetic? What have you healed so deeply that you say, all I have to do is do this and this happens? I'm not talking about your sexuality, babe. I'm talking about your magnetism. I'm talking about your divine feminine energy. I'm talking about the highest and the biggest version of you. That's the door we want to open. If we want to manifest anything from the universe. So then you have to think about the way that your brain operates. So because your nervous system is still stuck in that trauma survival loop, your amygdala, that's your brain's threat center, it's right above your ears. Like if you just touch the top of your ear on both sides of your brain, it's right there on the tip of your ear. That's your amygdala. That's why you don't believe you can have the things. That's called the little liar, the little tattletale. It overrides visions when you're stressed. Manifesting is possible when you're locked in hypervigilance, right? Because you're so focused and you're so determined. Sorry, I just had a little cough drop. And when you're so focused and you're so hyper-focused, all of this other frequency about lack and insecurity and doubt, well, that's not really the frequency in which you're operating in anymore. And so the amygdala slows down and it says, well, wait a second. Maybe this is a different situation. Maybe this is a different vibration. And I don't have to convince the brain, the body, the person to stop doing whatever they're going to do. And one of the things that you're just going to have to accept is that you're not failing. You've never created it yet. How could you have failed at it? Everything that you've already experienced, you created that too. And look how good you are at creating chaos. Look how good you are at creating all of these conditions in your life where you're not ready to take the permission slip to the bank and say, cash the check. And so since you've denied yourself so much, what is it going to take for you to give it to yourself? Because you're not failing, you're just dysregulated. Your nervous system is protecting you from the dream because the dream doesn't really feel like it's possible for somebody who is unlovable as you, unworthy as you. Who are you to dream? Oh, that's right. You are the creator of your reality. And when you say, I am, you then take the force of everything. That is God, source energy. There's only one time in the Bible where Moses speaks to God, and I'm not religious in that sentence, but when people speak of this, this is what it means in so many different ways. And Moses says, well, what shall we call you? I am what you say I am. So when you say, I'm ugly, I'm broke, man, I'm so desperate, I got to take that terrible job. No, you don't. You have to rethink your way into a new container, a new field of energy. You thought your way into this one, you're going to think your way into another one. Magical, miraculous living is about redefining what is possible for you. Who is defining it? Because everything is a loop until we break that bias between you and you. Everybody thinks that money is the competition, or your education is the competition, where you live is a competition, the ethnicity is the competition, your background, your money. You're your biggest competition. You're the only person who is going to get up and change the frequency. You're the only person who has the ability to redirect your life. Because you are co-collaborating with the source of everything around you. Go look at a palm tree. Go to put your feet into the earth. Go look at the birds. Go look at the sky. Go into a nursery. Go into a flower shop. Go into a plant. Go into a garden. Go into a forest. Go into a mountain. Go into the ocean. That's you. Everything is you. That's 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 you. You're all of it. You're everything that ever was and everything that will ever be. And so every belief has an origin. The origin story of your inability to manifest it isn't the universe's lack of ability to create it. Maybe it was your parents. Maybe it was school. Maybe it was heartbreak. Maybe it was a patriarchy. Maybe it was a religious control. Maybe it was poverty. Maybe it was an assault. Maybe it was physical, maybe it was emotional, maybe it was spiritual. Maybe you're still doing it right now. Maybe you're in it. Maybe you're just out of it. Maybe you're 5 years out of it. Maybe you're about to go in it. But when you were here, you were a blank slate. And until you inked that information on the page, nobody understood what your story was. And one thing that you're going to have to say to yourself, and this is so essential for you to hear with your whole heart. If you ever hear anything I've ever said, please hear this. Where did you learn that? Who said it? But most importantly, my beloved, why are you still feeding it? The energy will die out if you don't give it your energy. You're the power source of everything. People are like, why can't you just cut somebody off, Michelle, and never speak to him again? It's not because I'm a serial killer. It's because I guard my energy like a Fort Knox. I am everything that will ever be. I'm the greatest thing I ever created. I love me. And if you don't love me and I see your intentions any kind of way, it's a wrap. Boom. I don't need to see anything else. And yes, people can change. And yes, that's for somebody else's reality. But in my reality, the standards are so high for me now that I only respect the version of me that I want you to have for yourself. And if you don't want that for me by your actions and your words and your deeds, then our story is done, babe. And it's been great, and I hope that the rest of your life is wonderful, and I wish you no ill. But why are you still feeding it? Why are you still dragging that story into today? Here's what I also want you to hear. Although all of those prejudices and biases and all those things happened and taught you how to dislike yourself this much, the moment that you start healing, the moment that you start connecting back to that, you start finding the breadcrumbs back to the original version of you, the most loved version of you, the most healed version of you, the most abundant version of you, the one that your grandma looks at you and says, oh my God, this one walks on water. Or the way that you look at your dog or your cat or your children, or maybe a really delicious bowl of pasta, I don't know. To each their own. But you're stuck in trauma loops, right? And being a predictable manifester of chaos until you understand how to break that loop and that you're actually, where did it come from? How can you create something else? You're on the roller coaster to hell. Over and over and over and over. Up and down, up and down, and up and down. And you're like, how do I get out of that? That's why I created the Secret Society of Manifestors. Every single month, 3 times a month, we're going to work on those pain points. The most you would ever spend is $20. The least you would spend is $5. Your spiritual hygiene is knocking on the door. Everything that you've ever created is just going to continue to create until you start doing something different. You got to move the needle somewhere. The trauma loop is going to predict the future. Do you think you're going to sit on the roller coaster and it's going to change? Well, I think this dip is going to be different. Well, wait a second. I see it going. Chick, 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 chick. This sounds different. I think it's going to go a different way. I used to think that living that way was normal. I used to think that expressing myself was just the worst thing I could do. But when you're moving energy and healing yourself, you realize that what's quote unquote normal isn't divine. It's practiced bias on you. You're adhering to policies and procedures about what is and isn't possible for you because you're on the roller coaster and you don't know how to get the loop off. And I've talked about epigenetics before, but you inherit trauma responses and then you have cortisol sensitivity that it's passed in through your DNA from your ancestors. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from someone else's wound. One of the things that really helped me when I'm working one-on-one with my container clients or even in my live classes is that I start to examine with people, when did you lose your innocence on the thing that you're trying to manifest the most? If you want to be loved, what do you believe you're worthy of being loved as? Some people just find their roles and then they stick to them. They never try out another version of themselves. They're like, nope, I'm stuck in the healed and I'm stuck in the unhealed. So when did you lose your innocence about, I can do anything I want. I can have anything I want. That's who's talking when it says you can't have it. So you're going to have to heal that wound. You're going to have to identify it. You're going to have to say, whose wound is that? And one of the things that you realize is that, hey, maybe that was my grandmother. She was a penny pincher. Hey, maybe that was my mom. She was married like 5 times. She always had a different boyfriend. Or maybe she never had anybody after the divorce. Maybe after the devastation of that relationship, it just created such a crater in her reality. She just never healed from that. And so now you don't believe you're worthy of it on a subconscious level. Maybe you saw your dad abandon your family. And so as a man, you feel like, yeah, I'm probably going to do the same thing. So you seek relationships that are not validating and supportive of the truth of you. You're worthy of having a beautiful, loving wife and a beautiful, loving union and a beautiful, loving relationship, whether it's however you identify, whatever that relationship is for you and your family. But you can't go and be an impeccable creator if you're coming from a wound and it's sabbing and it's bleeding and it's pussing and oozing and you're pretending like it's fine. Because you're dragging it into everything here energetically. It hasn't been washed and cleaned. This isn't a blank piece of paper you're writing on. It's got stains all over it. So what if we just started saying, I'm going to manifest in 3, 2, 1. Boom. What would you create first? Let's just think about it for 10 seconds and then we're going to do it together. 3, 2, 1. I'm manifesting. One more time. Hold on. Now, I don't feel your full chest in it. 3, put your energy in it. 2, give yourself the permission. 1, feel the power. I'm manifesting. Yes. Because what happens when you're present in that energy? What did it feel like just right now? You shifted from what? From shame to just delusional thinking. But what you could do is think to yourself, when you realize what the wound is, what did I learn? So I was working with one of my coaching clients. She's manifested over $250,000 since she started working with me. And one of her core wounds was her father, and she didn't realize it. And so she would manifest money and then she would lose it. And it's both is manifesting, right? You manifested the energy to propel it, and you manifested the energy to have it removed from your frequency. It's all the same thing. Just because you don't like what you see doesn't mean you didn't create it. And so when you learn how you created that, when you see yourself in that new energy field, just even for 15, 16 seconds, what had happened? You gave yourself permission to say it out loud. And for just a few seconds, you said, I'm allowed to have this. And you flooded the field. You flooded the frequency field. You affirmed it. You chanted it. What can you do now? Do this at home tonight. Do this right now if you're in your living room. 3, identify the belief. 2, regulate your body. 1, become the match. Move, dance, shake, feel, chant, scream, shout. Fuck, I don't care. Do something to sink this energy into this reality where you're just delusional enough to change the field and become truly magical. You are the I am. I am creating a healthier body. I am aging backwards. I am a money magnet. I am the frequency of better and better and better and better. I am the frequency of love. I am the frequency of hope. I always say I'm the frequency of Christ consciousness. I'm the frequency of unlimited divine energy. But right now, you're living in the frequency and in the energy of you're just not enough and it can't happen. Oh, my children, my money, my this, my that. You're right. All those permission slips to not take a step forward are always going to work. Well, I would join, but it's too expensive, or I would do this, but I don't have enough money. You could be at my beach retreat with me September 12th through the 14th, 2025. But you're resisting yourself and you're telling yourself, oh, I couldn't do that. I couldn't give it to myself. But the highest version of you is saying, why wouldn't you want to be on the billionaire beach retreat with Michelle? Allow your creations to maintain a dreamlike energy. So what has to happen? Must it be the end of the world? So let's pretend in some dystopian reality, the world's going to end in 5 days. Nobody else knows, and you can't tell anybody else. Just play along with me for 2 minutes, even less, 60 seconds. And one of your biggest dreams was to go to Paris, Paris, and to wake up with your window facing the Eiffel Tower, and you have a small little short cement balcony that was made by pavers so many centuries ago, and you hear the bustling of the Parisian streets as they start to open all their little shops and their little bread carts and their little fruit carts and their little wet, dewy streets as everything is brick and they hose it down. And all of you can only imagine getting out and putting on something that feels like the dream state of this. And almost like everything is weaved out of gold and light energy. And you just float and float and float. And you get out of this beautiful little quaint hotel. And there they have a little cafe. And they say, would you like a cafe, ma'am? And you say, no, I'm going to have I'm going to have breakfast under the Eiffel Tower. And then you leave the hotel and you go to the right. And as you walk down the street, you see the bread person opening up the cart. And it's fresh and it's hot. And you go over there and you hand them the money and you want to say that the world's ending in 4 days. But you know you can't. This is just your dystopian illusionment, visualization. And so now all of you that is generating this gold frequency energy is just vibrating at a frequency that nobody else can know but you. And you have the bread and you have the butter and, you know, it's 4 days. Grab you a big jug of wine. I don't drink wine, but I'm just saying. And maybe you grab a cup of fruit, grab a blanket off another vendor, and maybe even some fresh flowers. And you go down to the Eiffel Tower and you spread your blanket out on the public park they have there. And you get everything ready and you're laying there and you're looking up at all the floors. And you're thinking like, okay, when it opens at 11, I'm going to walk all the way up to the top. Because it's going to be gone in 4 days. Why must the world end for you to say, I'm going to do this? What part of you is still resisting the highest level of frequency that is available and accessible to you and to Beyonce, to you and Taylor Swift, to you and to whoever you think is doing well in your life? And what if it's all a dream anyway? How do we know the difference? When we're asleep, we see things, we feel things, we believe it. We think that that's the dream. Maybe this is the dream and that is a reality. Who's to say? How do you know? So what if the exit door is just choosing another reality? What if opening a new reality is just more concentrated focus, more clarity, more community, more connection? This is what I believe. That's why I created the Secret Society of Manifestors. In the first month, every single time is free for you. You have no excuse. And I would ask you, why must you die to finally feel worthy of the baguette in Paris with the warm butter and the fresh flowers and the pretty blanket for you to step in to that door? What part of you doesn't believe that you can co-collaborate with the universe by becoming energy and not ego? Ego is your fear, it's your amygdala, it's all the other stories that you're still reading. Babe, the book, it starts a blank page right now. You have to keep adding all those texts and all those words and all those photos and all those images back to the field. One of the things that I've learned is that you gotta let it leave. It's not yours. If it was yours, you would be able to touch it, taste it, and feel it without any hesitation. It would just flow like the oceans, like the rivers, like the streams, like the rain from the clouds. You can't stop that. Because every thought is energy and every belief is your command to the universe. So the universe is just following your lead, babe. The universe is just following your lead. Your nervous system is legitimately your manifestation engine. And if you don't clean your engine, you'll keep stalling out. Whenever I create a new workshop for SSOM, or for one of my live classes, or for some corporation that's hiring me to do something, or if I'm asked to speak somewhere, one of the things that's so important is to understand where you're going and what you need to get you there. What is the fuel that you will need to create in the easiest and most effortless way? What version of you do you need to say yes to that will allow you to create differently? The I am in you is your own unique frequency signature. Only you can create it. Only you have access to it, and you are the one denying you access to it. I'm not. I want you to have it. I've bet the whole farm that you're going to listen to this podcast, that you're going to step up, you're going to listen to another one and listen to another one. Maybe you go watch it on YouTube. Please follow me on YouTube. I'd really appreciate that if you could. And so what part of you is going to take the next step and the next step and the next step? When are you going to start opening different doors? And if you don't know how, that's how I literally create all of these things through these workshops to teach you. I love to show you who you've always been. And I want to make it as easy as possible. Come and take the first month for free. Bring your friends, bring your sisters, bring your brothers, bring your cousins. You know your ex needs it. Exorcism, maybe. But if you want to inherit the new earth and you want to co-collaborate in the highest and the 5 and the 6 and the more creative free energy, then you have to stop holding on to the old contracts and the old agreements and the old ways of programming. And I want to help you do that. I want to guide you to who you've always been back. And when you align with your frequency, it's literally like miracles look like it's just cake. You don't even know when you struggled. You can't remember the struggle anymore. Not that you're disconnected from empathy, because that's not manifesting with consciousness. Empathy is everything. But in order for you to consciously create, you have to put all of your energy into you. The you that says that you can't is just 2 doors down from the you that's already living it. You're not chasing. That's so boring. You're attracting. You're attracting from the memory that you're unfolding from your divinity. The plan was always for you to have all of this chaos and all of these things to create something totally different that you've never created before. You haven't, and you could never fail at something you've never created. How? That's not possible. You're not even walking through those doors. There's so many opportunities. There is no competition. I wish everybody well. I don't care what you've done to me. I don't care what our story was and where chapter you're in. I wish you well. Because I'm not chasing anything. And neither are you. And the more effortless and the more harmonious you are, the more incongruent, which is naturally creating. Do you think that there's any effort in the plants or the birds or the trees? The seed goes into the ground, it germinates, it gets the soil, it gets the sun, it gets the earth, it gets the little maggots, it gets the little bugs, it gets the oxygen. And then eventually it starts to sprout and grow. Now, if you ask the seed, it could say like, oh, damn, that was really hard, right? But the seed can't remember what it felt like to be a seed when it's a flower. When the flower blooms and grows and sprouts more and more and more flowers, do you think it has any recollection of what it was like to be the seed? And so the most natural thing it would be is to evolve. And yet so many of us can't see that you're still in the seed zone. You're in the germinating. You're not in the co-collaborating. You're not in the creating. You don't see the magic that you are. I do. Everybody else does. All your spiritual guides do. And you can choose what you want to live. The old version of you, the book that used to be telling a story of your lack and you're not connected to this power and this magic. Or you can step into this new place where I'm creating, where I'm going to drag you, where I'm going to say, hey, I see you and I want you to see yourself. I want you to mirror back to you what I see in me, in everything that I create, in every class that I create, in every podcast that I create, in every speech, in every book, in every product, whatever it is that I do, getting dressed, walking the dogs, loving, I always do it from the place of the highest frequency of me. until I learn how to be a different version and how to go to another frequency and another frequency and another frequency. Okay? And so as you start to see this for yourself, you have to ask, are you ready to stop living in trauma loops and start manifesting in real time? And what are you going to do about it? What's your plan? My plan is the Secret Society of Manifestors, SSOM. It's $1 a week to regulate your nervous system. $1. If you want to go all in, like $5. Expand your consciousness, co-create with the field, work with the moon energy, activation, give you tools, release your grief, find your CEO, spiritual self. You're not alone. And I want to give you the tools to become the master manifestor that you already know you are. Not a passive one. A blank state, a blank page, writing with new ink. You're not alone. You just haven't been plugged into your people. Come meet your people. Come meet your people with me. And I just want to remind you that we're gathering the frequency. And I'm hosting my Bel Air Beach Retreat, September 12th through the 14th, jumping timelines and manifesting our highest version. So come do it with me. There's a couple of spots left. But no matter what you do, as you redefine what's possible in your experience, you make that next evolution of you even bigger, even brighter, and even more powerful. You are the field. And when you allow your life to be pure magic, you become magical. You're so special. The greatest thing you ever created is you. Fall in love with you, my love. You're so worthy. You're so worthy. Okay, now we're going to close like we always close. And in 3, 2, 1, I love you. Everything is always working out for us. Everything is always working out for us. Everything is always working out for us. Everything. Me. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. I cannot wait to meet you in the Bel Air Beach Retreat. I cannot wait to see you on Zoom in SSOM. Move the dial. Open the different door. This is your challenge. There's so many of you who have been listening for so long, sitting on the sideline, saying, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Do it now. Do it now. Don't wait until you're the only person going to Paris, because there's 5 days left. I love you. Producers, cue that motherfucking music. Yeah. I love you. I love you.